In tonight's program, we bring you a report on Stephen Biko the man and the testimony of those who caused his death. We also analyze the 3 months in the late 1980s which will haunt Winnie Madikizela-Mandela for the rest of her life. This week, the world was told that it was Winnie Madikizela-Mandela herself who killed youth activist Stompie Seipei and who ordered the deaths of Dr. Abubaker Asvat and Lolo Sono. In a special edition of our program on Tuesday, we broadcast a BBC documentary outlining these allegations. In the past few weeks, we've conducted our own investigation in an attempt to make sense of all these allegations and counter-allegations. Special Report team member Benedict Mutau visited the ex-leader of the Mandela United Football Club, Jerry Richardson, in Leeuwkop prison on Friday, where he is serving a life sentence for the murder of Stompie Seipei. To our surprise, Richardson confessed to the murder of somebody completely different, a young girl called Cookie Zwane, and alleged that Winnie Mandela had ordered him to kill her.
Yes, what I can tell you about is this one, which I was never charged for, the case of Cookie Zwane. I've even written it in my affidavit. I want to tell the TRC about Cookie Zwane. The fact that Cookie Zwane was killed is because Mrs. Mandela handed me down a task and said, Richardson, Cookie Zwane is disturbing me. She's bothering me. Cookie will take a person here in the house and live with them. Next thing we know, that person is arrested. Cookie's an informer. So I took Cookie and went to kill her. Her body was found and I was not arrested for that case. Cookie was buried and her parents did not cry about Cookie. Now that is one of the things I want to show the TRC, that I used to do bad things like this.
We had no way of establishing the truth about this murder, apart from getting confirmation that Cookie Zwane's dead body was found in 1989. One complicating factor we had to keep in mind was the widespread allegations that Richardson was working with the security police. There is a real possibility that he could even have been an agent provocateur. In fact, it now seems that most people in the drama surrounding Madikizela-Mandela had some connection with the security police, including the star witness in the BBC documentary, Katiza Qebekulu. We have never encountered a muddier investigation. It seems as if all the perpetrators and participants are either lying or telling half-truths or hiding something. The Special Report's interest in this story lies not with Winnie and who she is or was, but with human rights violations committed in our past. 2 boys connected with Madikizela-Mandela were killed in one wild year, 1988. Stompie Seipei was a teenage activist from Paris, and Lolo Sono was a Soweto youngster. Winnie accused them both of being spies.
They said it was on the 29th of December in 1988 when Stompie was taken from the Methodist Church. Together with his friends, they were taken to Mrs. Winnie Mandela's house. They said to me, they don't know. They are still searching for Stompie. They don't know whether is he alive or is he dead. And they told me that his friends told them that his brain was leaking.
We are still not at ease. I'm having nightmares, dreams. Sometimes I hear knocks on the door, thinking that it is Lolo. When I'm sleeping, I can see him flying from the sky, coming home, saying that, Mom, I'm back home. Then I open my arms and try to hug him and said, welcome home. I am pleading with Mrs. Mandela today in front of the world that please, Mrs. Mandela, please give us our son back. Even if Lolo is dead, let Mrs. Mandela give us the remainings of our son.
But let's start at the beginning. In 1977, Winnie was banished to Brandfort. When she came back to Soweto after a severe illness in 1988, she must have harbored a great deal of frustration and anger about her treatment by the police. She surrounded herself with a group of boys and young men whom she called the Mandela United Football Club. This team only played 1 match. By late 1989, the Mandela Football Club, coached by Jerry Richardson, had become the terror of the township. Also in Orlando West was popular Methodist minister Paul Verreyn. Winnie seems to have disliked Verreyn's influence. According to most characters in this drama, Winnie decided to discredit Verreyn. This is where Katiza Kebekulu comes into the picture. Kebekulu told the BBC that Winnie sent him to stay at the Methodist mission and there to accuse Verreyn of rape. It was at this point that things went horribly wrong for Madikizela-Mandela. Kebekulu told Verreyn's assistant, Koliswa Falati, that he was raped. She took him to Winnie Mandela, who immediately ordered Richardson and his gang to kidnap the boys staying with Verreyn and take them to her house in Diepkloof. Stompie Seipei was one of them.
We beat them up, man. You know, we have shamboks at the kangaroo court. We have canes. You know, we used every method that we knew that would make them tell more truth than what they had told us. Stompie to start with him. I lifted him, together with Slash, not with Mrs. Mandela. Mrs. Mandela was sitting on the side. We lifted him from the roof height and we left him and he would hit the floor. I'm sure 7 or 8 times, up until we saw that he was near dying.
She is
the one who started. She started hitting with a fist. She used to wear rings on her fingers, and she had been gymming. I didn't know about that. She hit right on the eye.
Katiza Kebekulu's version of the assault is virtually the same. But Kebekulu goes further. He says he went to the toilet that night and saw people near the jacuzzi in Mandela's house.
I saw Mrs. Mandela wearing long clothes. How I know it was Mrs. Mandela? I know there was a moon, not that full moon, but a moon that you can see. This is a woman, this is a man, this is a boy. She was holding something shiny like knife, and Richardson was coming with other people. I did not see them properly. They were near to the swimming pool, to the jacuzzi. I saw Mrs. Mandela holding something shiny. He used their hands twice. Soon as I see that, I come scared.
But on Friday, Jerry Richardson told us that Kebekulu was lying.
Stompie, there's no other person who killed him except for me and Slash, with instructions from Mrs. Mandela and Sono. We took him and we threw him at Noord Geser. We walked there. We did not use a car. It was me, Slash and him. Stompie was walking with his own feet. Now we were going to kill him there. As we are working with him like that, we have a pair of scissors, we have okapis on us. We then decided that an okapi knife won't do anything to him. It won't kill him, he's strong. So we then decided we would stab him with scissors. Indeed, when we arrived there near New Canada, we mutilated him. We put a scissor through his throat and it went out on the other side. It won't cut him like this. So we then used the okapis to slit his throat.
We have no way to determine which of the two versions of Stompie's death is true. The Supreme Court accepted that these boys were kidnapped and assaulted, and Winnie was eventually convicted of kidnapping. Stompie was only the first to die. The day after he died, Madikizela-Mandela took Kebekulu to Dr. Abubaker Asvat. She wanted medical confirmation of Kebekulu's rape story. Asvat found no evidence of rape and refused to issue a certificate. He did state that Kebekulu was mentally confused and that he cried occasionally. Asvat also examined Stompie and the other boys before Stompie died. Kebekulu told the BBC that Winnie Mandela ordered him to show 2 unknown young men where Asvat's surgery was. Asvat was shot to death on 27 January 1989. Asvat's brother Ibrahim says the prosecutor in the Asvat murder trial showed him a document proving that the 2 killers were given 20,000 rand to get rid of Asvat. It was never used in court. Last week, Nicholas Dlamini, who is serving a life sentence for Asvat's murder, told the Mail and Guardian that it was Winnie Mandela who ordered the killing. But Asvat was not the last victim in this drama. Young Lolo Sono was keen on becoming a football club member, but Winnie accused him of being a police spy. Richardson and Winnie took Lolo to his parents.
My son Lolo was in the kumbi. He appeared badly beaten. His face was bruised and he was shivering. So Mrs. Mandela told me that she's taking Winnie away, Lolo away because they labeled him as a spy. I pleaded with Winnie for more than an hour not to take my son away, but in vain.
Kebekulu also fell out of favor when he says he found photographs of a naked Winnie with her lover. He was arrested by the security police, but in an unexplained twist, handed over to Winnie. He claims that she and her bodyguards beat him up badly. He says she offered him a choice between leaving the country and being dealt with by her. ANC security men smuggled him to Lusaka, where he was jailed. By the end of 1991, Richardson was in jail, serving life for the murder of Stompie. Winnie was sentenced to 6 years for kidnapping, later reduced to a fine on appeal, and Falati was sentenced to 10 years for assault and kidnapping. In the townships, the UDF and ANC structures were upset with the behavior of Winnie and her bodyguards. They formed a special crisis committee consisting of Cyril Ramaphosa, Murphy Morobe, Sister Bernard Nkube, Sidney Mufamadi, Abri Mokwena, Frank Shikane, and Bayers Nodir.
We are particularly outraged at her obvious complicity in the recent abductions and assault on young people like Stompie. We believe that had Stompie and his 3 colleagues not been abducted by Mrs. Mandela's football team, he would have been alive today. The mass democratic movement, at this point, hereby wishes to distance itself from Mrs. Mandela and her actions. We call on our people, in particular the Soweto community, to exercise this distancing in a dignified manner.
It is clear that the police investigating Madikizela-Mandela and her football club did not do their work properly. The prosecution, too, was clearly flawed. Could the apartheid state have been part of a bizarre cover-up, possibly because of their agents' roles? What role did the ANC play then, and what role are they playing now? Why did they take Sebukulu out of the country, and why was he never brought back? This is a story of cover-up layered upon cover-up. We hope things will become clearer when Winnie appears before the Truth Commission later this month, and when Kebekulu, Richardson and Lamini testify before the Amnesty Committee. Stompie Seipei's mother and Lolo, Sono and Kukizwane's parents deserve the whole truth.